Good morning, Global Truth Center. Welcome to everyone who's here this morning. Welcome to everyone who's watching us online. I'm so glad that you chose to be with us here. I'm assuming you wanted to be here and not just that you wanted to be in an air-conditioned room. Because I saw yesterday in Palm Springs, it was the hottest day ever in Palm Springs. It was 125 degrees. So they're probably not leaving their house because otherwise their tires would melt. They're probably hopefully watching us online this morning. It's good to see all of you this morning. So let's get this beautiful day started with a beautiful song from Carol and Mindy.
Gonna wash the dust off my soul. Gonna listen to some rock and roll. No cares, come what may. I'm making a beautiful day. Gonna drive by car to the sea. Swim out far, 'cause I believe that the waves will wash the gray away. I'm making a beautiful day. Let me hear you say, oh, oh, my, my. I'm learning to fly. Hey, hey, what's that you say? Let's not forget we're alive. Gonna climb that hill behind my house. See what this place is all about. 'Cause from above it all, you can't help but say it's gonna be a beautiful day. It's gonna be a beautiful day. Let me hear you say, oh, oh, my, my. Woo, I'm learning to fly. Hey, hey, what's that you say? Let's not forget we're alive. Turn to your neighbor. Stand up, turn to your neighbor. Greet one another. Say hello. Good morning, everyone. Gonna turn my enemies into friends. What's broken gets stronger when it mends.
When we all come together,
What?
this song will play. We'll sing, it's a beautiful day.
It's gonna be a beautiful day. Good morning, everybody. Come on. Oh, oh, my, my. I'm learning to fly. Hey, hey, what's that you say? Let's not forget we're alive. It's gonna be a beautiful day. What you say? It's gonna be a beautiful day. What do you think? It's gonna be a beautiful day. Let's make this a beautiful day. Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mindy. Thank you, Carol. I felt like I was watching one of those old school videos where the singers would both come up to sing at the same mic at the same time. in case you missed it, that's your first Science of Mind lesson for the morning, what they did, which is when you get lemons, what do? You make lemonade. And they took both of their voices and made them one beautiful voice. Thank you. I love that. Well, that is a perfect song to begin with this morning because you are here for a reason. You could have spent this hour doing anything, but I'm going to suggest that for the next hour, your life is completely in your control, and you can make it a beautiful day. You can make this a beautiful hour. I remember years ago going to a Tony Robbins event, and he would say something along the lines of, if you get one thing out of whatever time you spent together with him, maybe that one thing could make all the difference in your life. I'm not saying that's going to come from me, but you may hear something in a song, or you may connect things in a way, or you may have an experience with one of our amazing practitioners this morning that will make that difference in your life. So if you come at the next hour that we spend together from that perspective of going, I wonder what I'm going to get this morning. I wonder if it's going to be here. And it may not be in this hour. It might be 2 hours from now where you go, God, I'm thinking about that now. And you make that connection. So I'm just asking you, be open that maybe something today will make this a beautiful day for you, a beautiful week, the rest of your year. So I am excited. I think this is the first time I'm saying this. I'm Reverend Thor Challgren. There was a lot that went on in the spring, including going through all that. And there's part of you, the Science of Mind part of you, that goes, oh, it's already done and complete. And then there's a part of you, Genevieve's nodding her head. She knows exactly what this process is like. There's a part of you that there's so much ahead of you that you go, you ask questions like, how will this ever happen? Can I possibly get through this? And those are not examples of good, empowering questions. Am I right, Genevieve? Correct. We don't ask questions like that. We just get through it, and I'm so happy to be with you here today, having done that, and also I'll bring you up in a second. She's so excited, and I'll tell you why in a second. But this is I'm so happy to be here with you on this beautiful day. And at the Global Truth Center, aside from occasionally a little bit of the time talking about Broadway, we talk a lot about our mission statement. And I'm going to ask everyone in a second to think about the mission statement. And someone did this recently where instead of saying it out loud, you said it to yourself. I'm going to suggest for us to think about that this morning. But before I do that, I want to ask, I don't know if anyone saw the video that I put out this week where I said that if you brought a guest today, someone who hasn't been here before, that I would have a gift not only for the guest, but also for you. So is there anyone here who brought, I'm not going to embarrass anyone too much, anyone who brought a guest here for the first time? Yes, Marilyn, please introduce your guest to us.
Yes, I have to. Because I want the gift. Thank you for that incentive. This is my brother Ron, who is visiting from Japan.
Wow. Welcome, Ron. So, Sherry, will you please give a book to Marilyn and a book to her brother Ron? And anybody else, Dr. Eric, that maybe brought a guest today? Would you like to introduce your guest?
This is my friend Jason.
Good morning, Jason. Welcome. So we have a gift for both of you. Now, we're going to do this all month or until I run out of books. This is a copy of my book that I wrote 2 years ago, and it has 325 ways to enhance any travel experience. And it's kind of like a mindful, you don't even have to travel. You could just look through this and go, you know what, I'm going to try this one today. So if you bring a guest this month, not only does your guest receive that book, but you as well, because I want to thank you for bringing a guest to share this experience with us. So we always begin by reminding ourselves of our vision statement. So I'm going to remember in your head, think of it to yourself. Our first one is It is love only, yeah. I'm realizing now it's great for everyone in the room to say it silently. The people online don't know what I'm pointing at. The second one, forgive everything. And the last one, and this is really the cornerstone. Dr. James talks about these three statements as being the cornerstone, the foundation of his entire teaching. The thing that people will go, oh yeah, he's the love only, forgive everything, remember who you are guy. That last one, when you remember who you are, that you are that God energy, that embodiment of the quantum field, that energy that is everything and capable of everything. When you remember that, everything else is easy. Because when you remember who you are, it makes it easy to love only. When you remember who you are, it makes it easier to forgive everything. I won't say it's easy, but I can say from personal experience that when you do that, the changes in your life are profound. So that is our mission statement, and there is a specific time that I have in mind as to when it would be good to do those things. What is that time? Now. Do it now. So with that, let us move into the meditative part. And I want to frame it this way. We always have a song here where Dr. James or whoever the minister is invites you to drop into your oneness. I'm going to ask you a question. Does anyone familiar with the app Calm? So Calm, I just recently got charged for it. It was like $70. Calm is an app that you can listen to music and drop you into that space. So I invite you to think about the song that Mindy's about to share with us, the moment, that energy as you dropping into that space. And it can do the same thing as if you were meditating, as if you were listening to the Calm app, is that you would drop into that space. So with that, I invite you to listen to Mindy.
It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me, and I am touched by amazing grace. And all I ever wanted, all I ever needed was already there. Closer than the sunlight, nearer than the air. I breathe in, and I am filled with the Spirit. It is health to my body, it is peace to my mind, it is joy to my soul. I breathe out a simple prayer of thank you. And my breath becomes a song that was singing all along, that was singing everywhere, nearer than the air. I breathe in, It is health to my body. It is peace to my mind. It is joy. It is joy. It is joy. Joy to my soul. I breathe out my simple prayer. Thank you. And my breath becomes a song that was singing all along, that was singing everywhere, nearer than the air. It's like the air around you. It's like the sunlight on your face. Feel the love of God surround you, and you are touched by amazing grace. And all you ever wanted, all you ever needed was already there, closer than the sunlight and nearer than the air.
Thank you, Mindy. That was beautiful. Before we go on, I want to talk about one other person that I'm so happy to see here today, and that's our friend Peter. Peter, it's awesome to see you back here with us. Well, let us now talk about our theme of the month. And before I bring up our practitioner of the day, I want to say, how many people had the opportunity to be here when we did, back in May, we had one day where we did all the ministerial talks together? I know there are a handful of people that were here. If you were here, you saw our practitioner of the day, our inspiration, give what I thought, and all of us, we were just amazed. This was the best talk, in my opinion, of the day, of all the ministers that were up there that day. This person talked about something in a truly authentic way, personal to her, but demonstrated principle in just a captivating way. I literally, when I was sitting down here watching you, I was crying because I was so happy and proud of you and the work that you'd put in to get to that point. And so I'm so happy to invite you to come up today. Please welcome Reverend Genevieve Joy.
Thank you.
Do you ever get tired of hearing that?
No, I love it.
I noticed we went to your play a couple of weeks ago, and they didn't, in the program or whatever, it didn't say Reverend Genevieve Joy.
They didn't.
No,
They didn't. It's not part of my stage name. In that,
probably a
you know,
wise thing.
It's like a thing you have to explain to people, so I just...
Yeah.
But...
Well, you are here on the first Sunday, so you get to introduce our new theme of the month.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
And it is?
Brilliance.
Brilliance.
Look at that picture.
I love the picture, too.
I love the picture.
Swan, will you make sure people at home, just real quick, Lori Savage found this image, and there was something about it this is what I get out of it.
Yeah.
Is that, we all know what a diamond is, right? A diamond is coal. It's something that we would think of as not being valuable, but the pressure creates it into something that's brilliant. And I love how this particular image, the way where the diamond impacts the surface creates this brilliance. So that's what I love about it. And it also was making me think about the story that Indira's net. Have you heard that? The idea that it's a net of diamonds and each facet reflects off of the other one so that they're all creating, they're codependent. And so I love that image. But you shared with me something that was meaningful to you.
Yeah.
Do you want to share that with us?
Oh, sure. So I was thinking about this theme, and then this little story, I don't know if anyone else saw it, popped up on my Facebook, and it was about students writing letters to Kurt Vonnegut. And the thing that he wrote back to them, and he said, practice any art, no matter how well or how badly, not for money or for fame, but to experience becoming, to find out what is inside of you. And what was the last part? The last part was the best part. It's there. It's there. Whatever. It was something like that. There's a final line. Oh, nope. I missed it. No. But the point of it.
The
reason why I went, oh, that's good, is because brilliance is a thing that we often kind of describe other people as brilliant. And where does that come from? It's usually because something that they did or something that they accomplished. And then, are we always being brilliant? Like, not really. It's always there, but it's something that has to be kicked into motion somehow. And we don't always think of ourselves as brilliant because for what, right? It's like you're just sitting around being intelligent. It sits in this space of potential, but it's always there. And I love that quote because it was sort of like an invitation to unlock that potential and let the brilliance out and kick it into motion. So that's...
And I love when you were reading that quote to me, the first part of it really spoke to the idea of you got to go out there and do it, right? It's not just going to, like if you look at that diamond, if that diamond was floating above the surface of where it is, it's not going to be striking that surface.
Or if that diamond was still a lump of coal.
Right.
And nothing actually impressed upon it to let it out. So you have now, this amazes me, you finished ministerial, and then a couple of weeks ago, you were in a play. The next day. I went into rehearsals.
And this is a play that was originally written in Farsi, and you helped translate it into English and help the other performers who were more fluent in Farsi.
Only fluent in Farsi.
Tell me, did that require a little bit of brilliance to bring that out?
That was a challenge. So the play was written in Farsi, and the producer wanted to do it a part of the Fringe Festival for an American audience. So it was translated into English, but it was a word-for-word translation, which doesn't really work because a lot of these expressions that they have in another language, we don't have here. So I had to then go through the script and basically rewrite all the jokes and kind of find like American expressions that lined up with what they were trying to say, and then help the actors get their mouths around these words, which half of them didn't really even know what they were saying, because these are all actors who left their successful careers in Iran to be here and start from scratch. And what happened, just as a result of that, being around that and watching those people, I had one line to say in Farsi, and it was like, one little sentence. It was supposed to be funny because I played the nosy neighbor who gets obsessed with their culture and is like, oh, you're from Iran? Oh, I want to lead the protest, like that person, right? So I start to speak Farsi in the play. It was so hard, and they had to do it with this entire play. So a lot of brilliance was unlocked throughout this whole process.
Yeah.
You really see what people are capable of when they want to be.
And one of the things that I loved about it was watching the play, there was a point in the play where your character said something, I'm like, oh, that's such a minister thing, like Genevieve must have put that in. It was this positive thing that you were trying to share with these people who were in kind of a moment of despair for them.
Yeah.
And your character was like, seeing the truth about the situation.
Right. And I got to be on that perch, so I was like an all-knowing.
Yeah, it was
Pretty
great.
cool. Yes.
Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
And
very much.
I think this is also one of the things that I love about this is that we think that when we learn science of mind, when we study it more, we understand it more, that we're going to use it in the context of like being in this room. But you brought that brilliance to a completely different stage. So it's something that when you understand it, you can bring it to every aspect of your life, right?
I think that's the hope. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's the plan. Even if we often don't. But yeah, you have to take it out of here and bring it into the world. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
Right? We can all be wonderful to each other in this room, but it's not needed so much in here. We all know what we're doing, right?
In theory.
In theory.
But it's good that we come here every Sunday to be reminded of it,
of
right?
course,
Yeah?
yes, yeah.
Well, you know, Dr. James created the affirmation for us. Do you want to reveal what this is? So you want to lead us through this?
Yes. All right. So I'm going to read it and then we'll all say it together. That work? Okay. The brilliance of the universe flows through me now. Ooh.
What word, other than the one that's all capitalized, what strikes you most in that statement?
Flows. Yeah. That it flows through me now. I don't always feel like it's flowing through me, but it is. I just have to let it out.
Yeah.
So I think we should all stand just so we can really feel the energy of the flowing of the brilliance of the universe. When we say this together, are we ready? Okay, good. The brilliance of the universe flows through me now. That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Genevieve Joy.
Thank you.
For the next 2 months, Mindy is heading up our music team. And so a couple of weeks, we're so grateful and blessed to have her and Carol with us the next 2 months. Yes. And a couple of weeks ago, I pitched a song to Mindy. I never know, like, this is a song that resonates with me. I like it, but I never know, can we sing it in this room? And it's so funny because I sent it to her and she's like, yeah, okay. And then Robbie was like, oh yeah, we did that like 10 or 15 years ago. So apparently it is an approved song. And more importantly, I love the energy of it. I love the vitality, and it's certainly on point. So please welcome up to sing our song this morning, Mindy and Carol.
You can stand, please. I used to think maybe you loved me. Now, baby, I'm sure. And I just can't wait till the day that you knock on my door. 'Cause every time I go for the mailbox, I gotta hold myself down. Oh yeah, now, 'cause I just can't wait till you write me you're coming around. I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, and don't it feel good?
Yeah, I see you
Yeah,
over there.
now, and don't it feel good? I used to think maybe you loved me. Now I know that it's true. And I just can't spend my whole life just waiting for you. Said I don't want you back for the weekend, not back for a day. No, no, no. I said, baby, I just want you back, and
feel good? Hey, all right now, and don't it feel good? Ooh, yeah, now. I know, a little two-step right there.
Walking on sunshine. I'm walking on sunshine. I feel alive. I feel the love. I feel the love that's really real. I feel alive. I feel the love. I feel the love that's really real. I'm on sunshine, baby. I'm on sunshine, baby. Yeah. Walking on sunshine. Whoa. Walking on sunshine. Whoa. Walking on sunshine. Whoa. And don't it feel good? All right now. And don't it feel good?
Don't it feel good?
Oh yeah now. And don't it feel good? I'll say it again now. And don't it feel good? Hey, all right now. And don't it feel good? I'll say it again now. And don't it feel good?
Yeah.
I love that. There was so much good feeling going on there. It wanted to just keep going, which is exactly how good feeling should be. Thank you, Mindy. Thank you, Carol. That was amazing. That was, I'll get to this in a minute, but just off the top, when you hear that song, you probably hear it as a love song that the singer, Katrina, is singing to someone. I'm going to suggest that it is a song that she is singing to the heart, the desire that she has in her heart. We'll get to that in a minute, but think of it that way. It's not always about the explicit thing that we're thinking about. Sometimes we bring a little bit of a metaphorical way of looking at it. Well, I was here 6 months ago, and I gave a talk. It was kind of the beginning of the year, it was January, and I gave a talk where I suggested that the next year you might think about what do you want to accomplish this next full year, and that you would be in a starting line of a race, not a race where you're competing with someone else, but with yourself, thinking about what do I want to bring into my life. So now we are 6 months later. It's the first week of January, so there's one thing that I want to say as we start today. July, yes, thank you. I'm thinking January. First week of July, so the thing that I want to say to you is Happy Half New Year. Did you know this was a thing? I think it is. I couldn't find a slide that said Half New Year, so I had to make one myself. But I think it's important because when you think about in January, when we say we're going to resolve to do something, which for some people lasts maybe a couple of weeks, if we're lucky, there's something about it that makes sense, like, oh, I'm going to do this thing over the course of a whole year. I mean, a year is a big amount of time. So what if you now think about, well, it's the first week of July, we're ending the first week of July, and you have 6 months left in the more of 2024. So if you had those 6 months, go back and look at what was the thing you said, maybe I'd like to do this for the entire year. Well, now you've got an easier amount of time to deal with. Now it's not like a whole year. Now you have 6 months. So I'm going to ask you, do you have any half-year resolutions? Given that it was news to you that there is such a thing as a happy half new year, I'm guessing nobody's making half-year resolutions. But that's one of the things I want to talk about today is what can you do between where you are now and where you are at the end of the year. So I can tell you, as I began the year, there was one, Dr. James would teach us when we read the book, The One Thing, he'd say there's one thing such that by doing it makes everything else easier or irrelevant. And you do that one thing, and then everything else will fall into place. Well, you can imagine, for me, my one thing was that. That email address doesn't exist yet because I'm still fighting with Google to figure out how to make that happen. But that is something that 8 of us went through, and accomplished and got to that place in life. Genevieve's taking in a deep breath, like, yes, that was a significant thing. So that's one thing that was meaningful to me. But as I look at the second half of 2024, and this is really my encouragement to you today, and what I want to talk about is what's possible for you in the second half of the year. What are ways that you can add even more, that feels like more, but even more to 24. How can you do that? So that's what I'm going to talk about. I want to go back almost 1 month to after we finished that whole ministerial journey. I went to Hawaii with Erin and Sarah, my daughter. So these are a few pictures that I took of our trip to Hawaii. The one on the left is the place that I used to live when I lived there. In the background, that's me at the beach, out for a run. And then on the right I was there for my 45th, I had to do that math in my head, my 45th high school reunion was there, and we celebrated, and that was an amazing time. So I got to have all of these experiences, which in Hawaii is pretty incredible. I also would go out for a walk or a run every morning and see the most amazing sunrises right, minutes from where we were staying. This is in Queen Kapiolani Park, looking towards the east where the sun is rising. Just beautiful. The other thing that I got to do a lot was spend time in the water, and that was what I had said to everyone before we went. I said, there was so much going on in the spring with ministerial, with family issues going on that I processed, that I just wanted to sit on a beach and I just wanted to relax. That was the most important thing to me. You can probably get a sense that this is not where my vacation ended up going. And if so, you would be right, because one of the things that we did, and this is what I'm going to talk about today, is zip lining. This was something that our daughter was there, and I didn't know this ahead of time. I was pretty clear that I wanted to sit on a beach with a book. And she's like, well, you know what I really would love to do is go zip lining. And she had already found places, researched it. She's like, this is actually the greatest part of having a 24-year-old. If there's anything you want to know in the world, you just go, Sarah, what's the answer to this? And she's going to find it in 2 seconds flat on her phone. So she finds a place and says, it's going to be a 1-hour drive up there because it's on the northeast shore of Oahu, and a 1-hour drive back. So I'm thinking my beautiful day sitting on a beach is now me sitting in a car, which that sounds kind of like home. It doesn't sound like Hawaii. So I wasn't terribly enthusiastic about it. But I said yes, and it was a real yes. And it was interesting because our daughter has been in this teaching enough that she gets when you say something if you don't really mean it. And she's like, don't say yes if you don't mean it. And I'm like, oh, okay, in the moment, that was my work. Because it would have been really easy to go, fine, I'll go. And she wouldn't have wanted that. Like, nobody wants that kind of energy. They want congruent energy of, yes, I really want to do this. And so I took a moment, and I thought about it, and I go, this is time I get to spend with our daughter, with my wife, and I'm going to be open to it being amazing. So the title of my talk today is Add More Zip. There we go. So this is not me. The other picture, just to be clear, was me. This is not me. This is Dr. Lori found this picture. This is just for reference. I'm going to share a little bit of ziplining knowledge with you here. This is called a Spider-Man. And I realize this is because in the original Spider-Man movie, I guess there's a scene where Spider-Man descends down, upside down, and kisses Mary Jane upside down. So that's what this pose is. I will tell you up front, I never did this one. But what I want to talk about today is ways that you can add more zip into your life, and especially in the next 6 months. So first, a little bit about how ziplining works, because in my estimation, when I did this, I'm like, oh, this is kind of like science of mind. There's something about this that really resonates with me. So in ziplining, at this course anyway, there are 8 lines. You go to the top of a mountain, You start on the top line, you go down, and you end up back at the bottom again. One of the lines was half a mile long. One of the lines, you go 50 miles an hour. Now, not having ever done this before, I had a little bit of trepidation about this. Probably any time you try something new, especially this kind of thing, you might feel a little bit of anxiety about that. But there's good things about this. So you can see the way that ziplining works basically is you've got this harness that supports you, and it's a fairly substantial harness. It's got a hook there, which you can see the guy on the right. You can see his hook. And what happens is you take your pulley, it attaches to that, they stick you on the wire, and then you're good to go. And just so that you're safe, that fence there, they won't let you pass that fence unless you have a safety harness on. That's the beige strap. So you put the safety harness on, you walk out there, you stand on the box while they hook you up, and then you're good to go. And they're incredible. They made it a lot of fun. Like very sort of, it was almost felt like I was on Jungle Cruise, where the guys do all the jokes on Jungle Cruise at Disneyland. But we felt very safe. It didn't ever feel like they're not taking it seriously. So as I think about this and this idea of getting on a line where you're going to go from one place to another place, felt like a perfect metaphor for what the next 6 months could be. So when we think about more in 2024, and you think about what are the next 6 months, I have a question, which is, what would you do in those 6 months if you knew you couldn't fail? Because when you look at the zipline experience, once you do the first one, the very first one, and you go, okay, I see how this works now. I'm not afraid anymore. Now I know that this will work, and I know that when I jump off this platform, it will work. So I have a question. Even though I know I'm supported, why don't we do those things that we said we would do? Like if I look at the next 6 months and go, well, I could do this. Question is, why don't we do it? Well, Aaron and I saw a movie. I'm not going to spoil it. We saw a movie Thursday night. It was Inside Out 2. I don't know if you've seen the first one, but the second one is equally as brilliant. I highly recommend it. In a nutshell, in this movie, the protagonist is in the first movie, she's like 11, 12 years old. And the movie demonstrates all of the emotions inside her mind and shows how those emotions are driving her behavior. There's joy, there's sadness, there's anger, there is fear, and what's anxiety. Oh, wait a second. That's the first one. But in the second one, she is now 13 years old, about to enter high school. So there's a new cast of emotions that come in, and this is the one that steals the show, literally steals her mind in the second movie. Anxiety. Those are the original, the OG emotions from the first movie. So why I think, and I was saying this to Genevieve this morning, I don't think I've seen a more brilliant demonstration of how experiences become beliefs, become the guiding principle of what we do in our life, because that movie demonstrates it. She has all these experiences. In the mind, they take them and they put them in this pool of water, and in the pool of water, they become emotions, beliefs that guide what she thinks about herself. I can do this. I'm smart. I'm capable. Or she has disempowering beliefs based on what anxiety does. So anxiety, I think, when it comes to doing something new, is a really profound experience for us. This is the platform, one of the platforms at the zipline. So you can imagine being at the top there, you might have a little bit of anxiety about that experience. Getting all the way to the top there, you're hundreds of feet in the air, and you know that this zipline looks substantial enough. It's concrete. There's huge wires everywhere. Like that part of it, you go, this is the most amazing thing that's ever been built. I don't doubt that that will work. But there's still that part of you that wonders. So I want to do a small little experiment here. And Sherry, would you mind I need a volunteer, and I see, is that, who's sitting over there? I can't see. Oh, Anne. I'd love for Anne to, Sherry, would you take the mic over to Anne, who is, by the way, let's give it up for Anne and the amazing team of volunteers, Wanda, who are preparing our breakfast this morning. So this is going to be really easy, and I want to make sure the mic is on for Anne. So Anne, do you see off to your left there the light switch, the far one on the wall? Okay, so that light switch currently is off. And let me ask you, if you look at that light switch, you know how to turn a light switch on, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me affirmatively you do.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So will you go over and turn that light switch on, please?
All right. Is this a trick question?
It is not a trick question.
Okay.
It is the simplest.
I'll do it.
There. It was that simple. Thank you, Anne. Big hand for Anne. You're completely done now.
Oh, thank you for asking.
So the light switch, we all know how to turn on a light switch, don't we? There's no doubt in our mind. Anne stood up. She didn't have to go, wait, how do I get over to the light switch? I'm not sure what that process is like. She didn't have to guess which part of the light switch to turn on. She knew. She knew it would work because we have electricity flowing through the walls here, and you turn that light switch on, and it works. We have things like that in our life every day. All of you are going to get in a car after this and go home. You're going to know, hopefully, usually, that your car's going to work. Carol's laughing. Doesn't always happen, but usually we depend on it, right? It usually works. So that's the way we go through our life. We don't usually have to have things explained to us, except here's a diagram I found that in case you wanted to know scientifically how does ziplining work, this is it here. This shows you the angles and the inclination angle, the drop of the section. They actually misspelled length of section there. I can't believe that. But this shows you, in case you needed to know from a scientific standpoint, how does that work? We have that too in our teaching. We could explain it scientifically, but we have an even simpler term to explain how it works and what we bring to any process that we're in. Does anyone know? It's one word. Does anyone know what you depend on when you are trying something new for the first time? I heard it. Faith. Absolutely. You have faith. You have faith that it will work. You know that we are surrounded in this universe, that this harness that I'm wearing, that I'm going to put on the zip line, that is the universe. It's got me. I am supported by that. I don't need to see the zip line to know that it works. Actually, I did the first time. The first time we jumped off, I needed to see it. But from that point on, I knew how it worked. This word is so important. Do you know how many times this word appears in the science of mind? Guess. How many? 200. That would be a lot. Actually, it would be interesting to see what's the most used word. I should someday, when I have nothing to do, which would be never, pull up the concordance and go and see which 82 times. In fact, there's an entire chapter in the Science of Mind called Faith, where Ernest Holmes talks about faith. And he says in that chapter, faith is an affirmative mental approach to reality. Reality, capital R. He's not talking about relative. He's talking about reality. Whenever he uses that capital R, reality, he's talking about truth. So faith, affirmative, meaning positive, I expect it. I have the highest expectation of it working. It's a mental approach to reality. Same page, he talks about fear. He says fear is nothing more nor less than the negative use of faith. It's faith misplaced. So that is helpful when I think about the zipline experience. If I'm afraid there, it's just me not using faith. It's misplacing faith, not using it in a way that is helpful to me. So when I'm standing on that platform and I'm thinking about jumping off, that's me getting ready to go. And when I think about that, and I'm looking at that line, and I'm trying to convince myself that I have faith that this will work, I'm reminded that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, like that caption. Substance of things hoped for. The line I'm hoping is there. It is the substance of things, the evidence of things not seen, meaning that you may not see this amazing, awesome power in the universe, but because we see the demonstration of it, the effect of it, we know that it's there. So because the line was successfully navigated, when I went across the zip line, I know that it's there. So I'm going to now, twice now, you've been encouraged to stand up. So really quickly, I'm going to ask everyone to stand up. And I'm going to tell you why I'm asking you to stand up, and don't worry, you can sit down quickly. Imagine right now, on July 7th, that where you stand right now is a platform. You are standing on the July 7th platform, and you are now going to get on a zip line that will take you to the December 31 platform. So in those 6 months, you will accomplish something, you will do something, you will create something that's going to happen during those 6 months. So when you have a thing, it doesn't have to be the most amazing thing ever, but when you have that thing, please sit down. The July 7th platform to the December 31. Every single day you stand on a platform where you can jump off and do the thing that is in your heart to do, the thing that you want to do. And you have a zip line from where you are to where you want to be. So if I think about my next 6 months, I was talking about this with Mindy, I think before. No, I was with Robbie, talking about what would I do if I knew that I couldn't fail. And I thought, well, you know what I might do? I might write and apply for a second TEDx talk. Not get one, that might be something that would take longer, that's in somebody else's control. But what's in my control is I could write a new talk that I want to give. So now I want to ask you, having stood up on your platform, what about you? What's something that you thought about that you could do in the next 6 months? Maybe it's take a trip somewhere. Maybe you want to go see the fall colors. Maybe you want to go visit a relative. Maybe you want to go to Yosemite. What about starting a book? Maybe there's a book that you, in your heart, that you want to write that speaks to you. Maybe you want to go rock climbing. And if this is your one, I'm going to suggest this will be the easiest thing you ever have to do, because about 100 feet that way is a rock climbing wall. Did you guys know this? There's a rock climb, Boulder Dash is right there. You literally turn out the door here, go in there, and within 20 minutes, you could be rock climbing. That's how easy this can be if you allow it. Maybe what you want is to find a new place to live, or to spruce up your place, to declutter, to create more energy in your space. Or maybe you want to meet someone new, or yes, that resonates with you. Yes, I love that. So, as you think about all of those things, what can come up first? Remember that anxiety character with the crazy face? We can think of, oh, there's reasons not to. Of course. I can think of, if I thought of the second TEDx talk, I could go, what if it doesn't work? Like, what if you discover that you come up with something and you get turned down, and now the thing that you were so proud of before now is going to get tarnished because you think something's wrong or that people reject you. So there's all sorts of reasons that we can come up with not to. So I want to go back to the ziplining. When Sarah said that she wanted to go ziplining, there were things that I thought about, reasons not to go ziplining. Chief among them was, I was in the middle of a book, and I wanted to sit on the beach and read the book. This is a great book, by the way, Expiration Dates. This author, Rebecca Cyril, writes metaphysical themed books that are kind of fun, but they always have like some interesting twist. So this is what I would have rather done. But I will say that because I listened to Sarah and I allowed myself to consider that, this is now the favorite thing that I've done this entire year. And I almost didn't do it. If it had just been Aaron and I, we would have probably been very comfortable doing what we've normally done. But this new person said, well, what if you tried this thing that is sort of outside of your comfort zone? And what was fascinating was, on our last night of vacation, we were at dinner, and I asked Aaron and Sarah, I said, what was your guys, without prompting them about me, so what was your guys' favorite experience on this entire trip? Both of them said ziplining was their favorite experience of the entire trip. This is us in walking on one of the bridges that goes in between them. So in order to do this, though, in order to make this experience happen, you have to take that first step. The zipline experience starts with the very first platform, and you have to step up there. You have to take that step. So I want to go back to the song that we sang at the very beginning. Using the royal we, sorry. Walking on sunshine. Do you now see it's a ziplining person and there's sunshine at their feet? This is why I love this song, this idea that wherever you are walking, you are lifted and supported by the universe. Wherever you take a step, you are supported. As I said at the top, this is a song that is kind of ostensibly about a love relationship. But when you look at the lyrics, you can also read it as the relationship that person has with the dream, the thing that they want, the thing that animates them, the thing that excites them. At the very end, I just want you back and I want you to stay. That's what we all want. Whatever this dream that we have, this thing that we want it to stay. We want to walk on sunshine, and I love at the end, it's time to feel good. When you pursue that thing that you want, you're going to feel more good. So I go back to add more zip. I'm going to give you 3 ways that you can add more zip in the next 6 months. So you might ask, how would you do that? The first is try something new. Maybe it's something that's slightly outside of you. You can tell like ziplining was not something I'd ever done before. That was outside of my comfort level. Another one is, does this take a little convincing? If it does, that's probably a good thing because it means that someone's cajoling you to think about something beyond you. And if a release form is required, it's probably also, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. I actually didn't read I shouldn't tell you this, I didn't really read my release form. You probably did though, didn't you? Of course, an attorney will always read it. So that's the first one, something new. Start from easy. Start with the easiest platform first. When you're riding a bike, you don't immediately get on like the most elaborate bike possible, do you? No, you get on a bike with training wheels. That's okay. Make it easy. Maybe if this is the thing for 6 months, you're going to do something, you're going to try it for a month. And then at last, enjoy the feeling. When I looked at that picture, it reminded me, and I think this is true, when you are with a parent, if you can remember back when you learned how to ride a bike, it was probably with a parent or someone in your family that you loved, what was the first thing you said when you were taken off on your own, that first time they gave you the nudge and you were doing it? You looked around him and you probably said, I did it. Look at me. Like you were so excited, that feeling. So this is what I'm hoping that you will think about. And then the third thing is to commit to the thing that you say that you want to do. There's, in ziplining, there's not if it doesn't work out, like they take you to the top of the mountain on an ATV and they don't ever say to you, well, if you get to the top and you just find it's not for you, we'll be happy to drive you all the way back down in the ATV, just you. It'd be like the drive of shame. They don't say that. If it doesn't work out, so you just know that you're going to do it. And again, we have a very technical term for this, and it's decide. Just decide you're going to do it. So if I go back to that idea of decision, Ralph Waldo Emerson says, once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. Once you decide to do that thing, that harness you're wearing, that perfect attaching to the zip line, all of it is going to work perfectly for you, and it will take you to where you want to go, that destination. And then the last way is have fun along the way. This is actually on the very last zip line, and I'll say that I wasn't quite comfortable enough yet doing all the trick things that the guys who were, with the tattoos and everything, like they clearly had done this a lot. But on the very last one, I stood on the platform and I turned around backwards so that when I went off the platform, I was doing it in a way where I couldn't see where I was going. That was as far as I was, that was my comfort zone. So this is a picture of me going down backwards. That guy, he was crazy. I couldn't imagine that. So once again, I'm going to ask you, remind you, right now, you are standing on a platform, July 7th. There's something you could do, something that is your brilliance to bring into the world. I'm going to suggest today that if you choose at the very end to avail yourself of working with one of our amazing practitioners, that you think about what is that thing that you want to do, and allow them to know the truth for you, that it is already done, it is perfect, it is complete. So that is my suggestion for you today. Think about the next 6 months. Think about what you want to do. Know that the universe is that thing that supports you, that guides you, that you are on a zip line where you're going to go from right where you are now. You will end up there. And when you do, it will be an amazing experience. You will have had fun. You will lift yourself up because you will say, I did that. You will look back like that kid on the bike and say, look what I did. Namaste. All right, well, now is a time for gratitude. And I talked about this. Dr. James has mentioned that Robbie has been with him. You guys have been doing this together for over 20 years. That's true. And I don't know if you know this, but the process, the way this works, is that the music team will pick songs. Robbie will create sheet music or find sheet music to transpose that into something that our amazing band members can play. So this all happens every single week. You get to hear this song performed by our amazing band, our incredible singers, and Robbie is putting it all together. So Robbie, for 20 years, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you. So when we all give, that's the kind of thing that we are supporting. We are supporting that experience. So as we move into that giving, I invite Mindy and Carol to come back up. And if you're online, when you're watching, you can go to our website. You'll see the little donate button. We appreciate everything that you contribute. Ladies.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
Thank you for my joy, Spirit. Thank you for my joy.
Thank you for my joy, Spirit. Thank you for my joy.
My abundant, abundant, abundant joy.
My abundant, abundant, abundant joy. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life.
Thank you for my life, Spirit.
Thank you for my life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. I want to say thank you, thank you, oh thank you, oh thank you, 'cause we're so grateful.
We're so
Grateful, so grateful.
so grateful.
We're grateful for Genevieve, to Judah.
So what do we know right now? We know that there is only one amazing creative force that flows through everything that moves, that makes everything happy, makes everything occur, that makes everything fill with the breath of life that is flowing through every single person in this room. And that energy in this moment is showing up and showing off as money, as donations that are flowing in, that are coming through all of us through our generosity in order to make this center be what it is every day, all of the time, creating this atmosphere and this community for everyone to share in, to let their brilliance fly. So I say this with so much gratitude for this center, for every donation, for every single person, for the consciousness that is spread over this money, knowing it comes back to all of our lives to enrich us all abundantly, overflowing with gratitude, knowing that this is true, that it is done. And I say this word, knowing it is law, and so it is.
Yes.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This glorious, this glorious, this glorious day. This glorious, this glorious, this glorious day. Thank you for this band, Spirit. Thank you for this band.
Thank
you for this band, Spirit. Thank you for this band. This incredible, incredible, incredible band.
This
Incredible, incredible, incredible band. I want to say thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. 'Cause we're so grateful.
We're so grateful.
So grateful.
So grateful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. It's Sunday, July 7th, and here are your GTC announcements. After service this morning, we invite you to join us for our first Sunday breakfast, lovingly prepared by Ann Monahan, Cynthia Bengtson, Wanda Caliu, and our amazing team of volunteers. Coming up on the calendar, join us this coming Friday for Soul Immersion, our popular sound bath experience. This event starts at 7 p.m., and a love offering will be gratefully accepted at the door. Throughout the summer, we continue to appreciate your donations to Manna, the local food bank here in Conejo Valley. Canned and non-perishable food items are always good, and consider beverages such as juice and water for summer hydration. In just a few weeks, we have the Wine Up, Wine Down event, part of our Divine Dining and Doings events. This event is sold out, and we ask all who have signed up but not yet paid to make their way to the practitioner table today, where Jill and Marilyn can help you make your payment. You can always find out what's going on and make a donation using the QR code you'll find in the back of our monthly theme cards. Use the camera on your smartphone and you'll go right to the calendar and donation pages on our website. Have a fantastic week, everyone. I'm not going to say it. I think I would break the quantum field or something. We are celebrating a birthday here today. You may not know it, but this is the 11th birthday of CSL Kauai. Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick's church is 11 years old today, and they are celebrating by having an event. In fact, Eric, you were just there a couple of weeks ago. Was it amazing? Yeah. Eric brought his 9D breathwork experience to their community, and it looked like from the pictures that they shared, it looked like everyone had a wonderful time. Awesome. So a couple months from now, in I think it's October, they're going to be having their sacred spiritual experience called the Sacred Journey. So they have a few spots that are still open. It's going to be a smaller, more intimate, sort of bespoke experience this year. So they are taking people who want to sign up. So there are a couple of these flyers out in the lobby. If you need one, see me afterwards. I've got one here. But I encourage you to look at this, and if it speaks to you, and if you want to go to Hawaii, and trust me, there's a lot you can do in Hawaii. You could even maybe get like a talk out of it or something. So it is an amazing experience. So this morning, we also have our conscious, you know what, actually I do want to, let me get to that one second. I want to mention the fundraiser that we have for Bells Are Swinging. It was an incredibly successful fundraiser in that it sold out in about 3 hours yesterday. So we had 50 tickets that Dr. James and Kevin donated to the center for us to sell. All 50 were sold in less than 3 hours. What we have done, though, is if there's anyone who still would like to go, we're taking names and emails so that if they're able to add some seats at maybe not that show, but a different show, we can reach out to people and let you know. So still go to the link on our website, put your name and email address in, and we'll contact you probably in the next week or so if they're able to do that and accommodate you. So, and for those who did sign up, thank you for supporting the center. It should be exciting. Looking forward to that show. Now we'll talk about Consciousness on Demand. This morning, we're going to try something slightly different. We have 3 practitioners who are going to be doing consciousness on demand. We're going to what's that? 3. Yeah, we got 3. I know. It's exciting. So Audrey is going to be in the meditation room upstairs. And then in the sanctuary here, and this borrowing a little bit from an approach that Agape uses, Craig Lincoln and Dr. Kirby are going to be over here in the sanctuary, and they're available to you. Here's my suggestion. If there's something that you thought about today that is yours to do and that you want to bring into your experience in 2024, go over to one of those practitioners and they will know the truth for you, which is that it's already done, it's perfect, and they will know your brilliance. So whichever you choose, we've got 2 up here, and then Audrey will be in that room. That is our service for this morning. So I'm going to close by dropping into that brilliance that is everyone in this room, that energy that is this vibration of power, of joy, of love. That is the experience that is in this room. I know that is the experience wherever people are watching us, that they stand in that energy with us today. That is that energy, that brilliance, that sunshine. And I know that as we go through our day, we walk on that sunshine. We are lifted up by that. We are lifted up by that energy. It conveys us through our journey, through our life, in our relationships, in the things that we choose to make our passion. That is the experience that we have. I'm so grateful to know this, so grateful for everyone who has shown up here, everyone who is with us online, who may watch this whenever they do. I know that this energy is an energy that is always there. It is brilliance, and I'm so grateful for that, so grateful for all of the consciousnesses that are here right now and making us one. And so I simply release my word as law, knowing this day is perfect, complete, and we join together this brilliance by saying, and so it is. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone.
Okay, we are closing this out with the same song. So please get up, join us.
Okay.
We're going to do this every week this month, so go home and learn the words. I used to think maybe you love me, now baby I'm sure.
I'm inviting you up. If you want to come up and walk in the sunshine, come on
And
up.
I just can't wait till the day when you knock on my door.
Genevieve, you know I'm looking at you. Come on up
girl.
here.
'Cause every time I go for the mailbox, gotta hold myself down.
Come on, let's do it. Come on.
'Cause I just can't wait till you write me, you're coming around. I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, and don't it feel good? Hey,
Come on, Dr.
right
Kirby.
now. And don't it feel good? Oh, yeah. I used to think maybe you loved me. Now I know that
love
it's
it.
true. I see you too.
Come on, everybody.
And I just can't spend my whole life just waiting for you.
That's right. Good energy. Come on, let's walk.
I don't want you back for the weekend, not back for a day. No, no, no. I said, baby, I just want you back.
That's
and I
right.
want you to stay. All right now, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine.
walking on sunshine. And don't it feel good?
I'll say it again now.
And don't it feel good?
Hey, all right now. And
Don't it feel good?
ooh, all right now. And
Don't it feel good? Thank you. Thanks
Have
so
an
much. See you
awesome
next
month.
week.